welcome back to my channel. I have for you a second sketchbook tour. There's nothing special with the stickers on the book, the sarcasm sticker and the caffeine sticker on the front. I just got the local Walmart. The cat stickers are from a sticker book, and the other images that's coffee related are just collage pieces from a magazine. So I started the sketchbook February 6th and I finished it on May 24th, and that is quite an achievement because I really just started to tap back into my creativity and doing art back last fall of September of 2024, and um, and I've been gradually like delving into a lot of stuff. So when I started the sketchbook, I had gotten new color pencils, which I swatched at the beginning there that you just seen, and I came across Art Hang Party, which is a YouTube live stream that's hosted by Melissa Martin, and the theme for this particular night, it's done every Thursday night, and the theme was birds, specifically people dressed as birds. And I ended up doing these with my new color pencils. I did end up using some fairly light colored pencils, and I was trying to just keep it simple at one color per drawing. I'd never done time drawings before, so it was an interesting process. I'm a lot more comfortable with it now since I've done it a few times now, but I still feel a little bit panicked when the timers are like less than 5 minutes. I'm really comfortable at the 5 to 10 minute mark. There's some sessions where we do 20-minute drawings, and I often end up being like really comfortable with my drawing like before the 20-minute mark is done. So the next spreads you'll see is another art hang party session, and on those ones was Valentine's for Valentine's Day, and we did vintage Valentines. So I pre-blobbed some paint in the squares that I had done, and then I did all of the drawings with my neocolors. I was just starting using Neocolor 2s, the water-soluble version, and I really love using those. I haven't used them in a while, but I'll have to go back to them because I really love them. Here I did a master study of Maud Lewis, of one of her paintings, and I've recently just bought a print of that painting, as you might have seen in one of my previous, most recent videos. This is a really lovely oil pastel drawing that I did of a fox. I really love it. And I used parchment paper in between the pages of materials that will smudge. I think I did this with Posca markers. This is just a little cat statue that I purchased in Mexico one year. I did the front of it and the back of it because the back had a little bit more intricate details. This is a dog one. That one I got first and a few years back, and then when I went again, I don't know if it was this time around or not. I think it was last year, not 2024. I think it was 2023 we went. I got the cat one. And then of course, I had seen the advertisement for the new season of oh my gosh, it's escaping me now. That TV show. I saw the poster for it, and so I did an oil painting of it. And then a rooster and a self-portrait. Here are just some color blobs that I just went back to at some point just to see if I could see anything and draw anything on top. More color blobs. I drew flowers and a seal, a bird. This is part of a Domestica course by Sarah von Dongen that I had purchased. I bought the trio pack of her courses. It was about like, drawing your surroundings basically, and then the end project was to like kind of draw yourself in a surrounding at home or whatever. This again is part of a Domestica course of like drawing shapes to try to do a face. Pretty owl, not quite sure what I used there for material. The self-portrait, I think I just used the gel pen. Here I swatched out my new Krita Color Mega Colors. You can't buy them in singles around here, so I found a set on Amazon and then I drew that flower with them. I keep a sheet of parchment paper with that one just because it's very smudgy. I would probably have to spray it like anything else. This is another art hang party session where we did master studies. I believe that first one I did with oil paintings, uh, not oil paintings, oil pastels, and then I think I switched over to my neo colors after that. The first one is one of my favorites in this session, and that last one, as I think just because of the simplicity of it, I really like it as well. It's really great practice to do master studies. I need to do more of those. This is the scene of me sitting in the living room with my dogs on the couch from that Domestica course for the final project I did, and I think it's partially paint. I'm assuming I did paints on that one, gouache paint probably. And then I did a drawing of my favorite mug, and these are more sessions of practice drawings of notes that I took from the Domestica course. I really like this rule of like I think there's 8 divisions or 9 divisions to draw a body for proportions. I'm not really great at drawing people. I totally butchered this one, her hands. I really muddied the gouache. I'm pretty certain I used gouache there and I really muddied her hands and I ruined it. I saw these images from Nat Geo magazine, and I believe the plant on the left is from Pexels, and the spoon leaf is a photo I referenced from one of the local national parks here. I think they posted a photo of that plant, and I was like, oh, it's pretty, and I'm gonna draw it. I believe I took this reference from Pexels as well. The blobs that you just seen there on the right was just me testing out this new like gray tone ink that I got. Here I was just mixing greens, and if anybody else follows Helen Weeks on YouTube, she does like these scribbles and draws, and there was some couple of images there from that. And I had ordered some stickers from Little Tiny Egg on YouTube, and I stuck the thank you card, and that's one of her stickers that I bought. I bought a few. You'll probably see them over the next little while because I've put them on sketchbooks. Another self-portrait. I regretted adding my forehead lines, and it makes me look older than I actually am. And kitty cat. A lot of like some stuff here that I've done, a lot of it is play. I tend to be a little bit more serious in the drawings when I'm doing the art hang party nights. This is an art hang party, I believe, with Andy Warhol. I think that's what I wrote there, this Andy Warhol art hang party, but this was a replay. I was probably looking for things to draw or to get warmed up. And I probably end up using some watercolors and neo colors. They tend to be my go-to. And I think this is the same session. So here, this is a YouTuber that I watch. It's Connor Woodman on YouTube. I had just had my sketchbook next to me, so I did a portrait of him. Teapot with the legs and the spoon, the fork, and the baby spork. These are all references from Pinterest, and that is supposed to be my cat Juno. A little bit of negative space drawing for the flower, and I did some citrus on the other side. I tried to do some lettering here, and I somehow left a blank page. These following pages here, I'm just going through really quickly because I came across people doing zines, and it's something that I had considered doing. Still considering it, but we'll see. And these next spreads are an art hang party night where it was like macro photography, and so we did some close-up drawings. This spread here is just a replay that I did. The brown patches there is just the brown paper bag that I glued on there. And this spread is from Debby Draws Funny, Draw Weird Things with Me on YouTube. And it was like a fashion week type thing. Here I'm just placing some blobs. These two blobs I got back to at some point. The one on the left looks like a weird wormy ET. Here I had drawn some supplies I purchased, as well as a new gravel bike. I had lost space on my phone here, so it skipped. And this is probably one of my favorite art hang party sessions, where we did book covers. It was really fun. This particular spread here, I went back to Substack for Books Are My People. And I went on their Substack to find more book covers and did a few more because I really enjoyed it. Here I just drew some animals with my acrylic inks. These next two spreads is from Shoe Paint and Draw with Shar Hamilton from Blue Shine Art and Melissa Martin that co-hosted. I did about 20 at that event, and then I went back the next morning to do a few more. I had space for 3 more there, but then I abandoned it. And of course, I did a Yoda on May the 4th. More scribbly play on this spread. Here I just put on some watercolor from a new set that I bought that's labeled watercolor, but it really it goes on more like gouache. A bat that I just did, and earlier this week I went to Halifax, so I just glued in the downtown Halifax map. I'd come across this pamphlet for the North End side, and it was done very artistically, and I really liked the pamphlet. Here just stuck the pamphlet from the Maud Lewis exhibition from the art gallery that we went to. This is the most recent art hang party that I attended. We are the 24th today, so I think this was the 22nd. And the theme was accidentally Wes Anderson photographs. I really kept it loose and playful. I had started with watercolor, but I had to abandon it because I was using my sketchbook, and I kind of forgot that using watercolor at art hang party night in a sketchbook is not really doable. It's best to use loose paper. And then I did a replay of the Free Draw Frenzy that's hosted by Melissa Martin and Debby Draws Funny. I just did 2 spreads here to get myself warmed up. I was nearing the end of my sketchbook here, and I was really excited to get it done. Here I just blobbed some paint on dictionary paper and an old dictionary that I purchased, and just did a random spread with it. That's a random spread of my color pencils. This was referenced from one of the photos I took in Halifax at the Halifax Public Gardens, and one of my favorites here that I just did recently, this bug. I used a color marker, brush marker, kind of something similar to a Tombow, but it's not a Tombow brand, and then went over on top of it with my new oil pastels. Did that one with watercolor, and then the white was done with Posca pen. There I just did some folk artsy stuff, and then the khaki head, and then the rest of the sketchbook is basically just swatches from some of my supplies, with the paper in between for any swatches that was done with like oil pastels just so that they don't spread. Um, so yeah, I did a lot of swatching on the back of the book. I figured it would be a nice spot to keep them there. And those are oil pastels. It was from a cheaper set that I got. And then that's it. That's the end. Finished with a photograph of one of the dogs and the cat, and that's all. And I will hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.